أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. And inshallah, we today will be talking about the significance and the essentiality of Salah. When you say Salah, as we all know, it implies serving Allah, prayer. But Salah, as Allah SWT, our creator, who happens to be the owner of all things, made you not realize that فَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ لِلذِّكْرِ. Allah said that uphold Salah, uphold prayer for my remembrance. And this remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah said that kitaban mawquta. It is time bound and it is compulsory. So when you say Salah is time bound and it's compulsory, and is something Allah has ordained on every believers, every Muslim, to observe. That is why Allah told us in the Quran, Surah Hajj, Allah said that Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu isjudu warka'u wasjudu. Allah said that prostrate and bow. Wa'budu rabbakum. When you prostrate and you bow before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, next thing is wa'budu rabbakum, and worship your God, serve your God, wa'fa'alul khair, and uphold righteousness. So in a nutshell, when you say Salah means being servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salah implies worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this worship we're talking about, Allah said that وَعَبُدُ رَبَّكَ حَتَّى يَتِيَكَ الْيَقِينُ. It's what we do from the day you were given birth to the day you will die. It's from cradle to grave. It's something we do till eternity. We don't start and quit. So therefore, as Muslim, we should get it clear that Salah is not optional, it's compulsory, because it's just like responsibility and duty. Allah has paid its own responsibility as our creator. That is why he said that وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. He said, I had never created mankind and jinn except to serve me, to worship me. He's our creator, he's our maker. He has provided everything we need for us. Everything we have, we never asked for it before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordained them upon you and I. The two eyes, the hair, the sound health, the rain, the sun, the night, the day, everything Allah has ordained, Allah gave us for us to serve Him, for us to worship Him. So as Muslim, this is so essential. And when you say a Muslim is somebody who submitted wholeheartedly to the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, to serve Allah. So Salah is compulsory and it's one of the 5 pillars of Islam. And as Rasulullah said that what differentiates a believer and a non-believer, a kafir, he said, Tarku Salah, is what is this Salah we're talking about. If you want to know that this person is a confirmed believer, a confirmed Muslim, you must uphold Salah. If you don't uphold Salah, the person is tantamount to kufr, and what it implies. And the Salah we are talking about is so germane, it's so huge that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala invited Prophet Muhammad Sallam to receive it above the seventh heaven. Allah sent invitation to him. Every aspect of worship, of deen, Allah revealed them to Prophet Sallam in this world, in this dunya. But when it comes to Salah, Allah invited him to ace the heaven to come and have the Salah. He ascended from this earth to the top heaven, the topmost heaven, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the Salah to him. And this Salah was given to him in 50 folds until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reduced it to 5. And that's the 5 daily Salawat that we observe virtually every day. This is to tell you how important, how essential the Salah is. And this Salah we're talking about as well, Allah never spare anybody. It's compulsory. No matter how the condition, no matter how the situation, no matter how the circumstances. For example, if a Muslim is sick, the Salah is not exempted for a sick land. It's not exempted during war. We are not free. We are to observe Salah even when we are at war. We have to observe Salah even when we are sick. We have to observe Salah even when we are on a journey. That is why Salah we perform when we are on journey is called Salatul Qasr. If you're on the war, we have Salatul Khawf, is the one we do when there is war. When you fall sick, you must pray. To the extent that you are allowed, if you cannot stand during Salah, you can sit. If you cannot afford sitting, you can lay down. If you are so weak, you can pray with a finger. You can pray with just your bare head. You must pray. Allah do not spare anybody for the Salah, because it's a connection between Allah and His servants. So this is so essential. And the first deeds Allah will call upon His servant on the day of judgment to give a full account is Salah. On the day of judgment, the first thing every one of us will account for is Salah. And if the Salah is excellent, if Salah is perfect, every other deed is acceptable, will be perfect. If Salah is null and void, every other deed will be null and void. That is why this Salah we are also talking about is so important, that as Muslims, we need to understand all the rudiments. We need to understand all the do's and don'ts of Salah, because Allah doesn't joke with anybody when it comes to Salah. That is why Prophet Salam is an exemplary character. He says, Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. He said, pray as you see me pray. Pray as you see me pray. It's an exemplary character. The way he observes his prayer, the way he performs his prayer, same way we are also allowed to observe and pray. And Prophet Salam was taught thoroughly by Malak Jibreel. Allah sent him to him to teach him how to observe Salah. It's not just something you just jump into. It's not just a mere exercise. It's something you have to do accordingly. Accordingly. That is why this Salah we're talking about, if you do it the way you ought to do it, it's going to have an impact, a ripple impact in your life. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that in a salata tanha al-fahsha wal munkar. Salah refrain you from al-fahsha wal munkar, from all forms of immorality, all forms of evil heart, all forms of shameful hearts. So if you are praying, you go to mosque and you pray, you observe Salah, and you are not reformed morally, you are not reformed in terms of habit, you've not observed Salah. Because Salah is meant to reform you. It's meant to change you to be a better Muslim. It's meant to reform you to be a good Muslim, to reform you from a liar to someone who uphold truth, to reform you from being a backbiter to somebody who, do it from backbiting, to reform you from being a fornicator, somebody who wants to be legally married, to reform you from being a thief to somebody who is honest. Salah is meant to reform you. So if you go to mosque or you observe prayer and you are not a changed person, you are not a reformed Muslim, check your Salah. Salah is meant to change you. Salah is meant to mend your character. Salah is also meant to make you be an organized person, because the way Allah organized it, said kitaban mawquta. It is time bound. If you really a Muslim who observes Salah, you must be organized. You must be time conscious. You must do it based on recommended time, based on prescription. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rain curse. He condemned those who did not keep to the time for Salah. فَوَيْلُ الْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. Allah said, woe unto those who observe prayer, who are not regular in the prayer. It's possible he observed prayer today and the next 2 days he doesn't observe, or he observes Subh in the morning, then he skip Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib, and observe Isha. So that is An Salatin Sahun. They are not organized when it comes to relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Salah is a means of communication with Allah alone. So the only means, the best means to communicate with your God is a Salah, because it is you and Allah alone. You stand before Him, say Allahu Akbar, and you start communicating 5 times every day. You know what it means? It's a power, it's a strength. It's meant to organize you. It's meant to make you focused. And Salah will move you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you're the type who observes Salah, you should be close and closer to Allah. Because Rasul said that the time a servant is more closer, or mostly closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, or was sajidun, he said, when he's in the prostration position, I mean in Salah, when you bow your head down, he said that's the closest time to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what does that imply? It means that is the time you are close to Allah. He said, for akthur du'a, he said, be multiple in your prayer. increase your prayer at that point. Don't joke with the prayer. Pray a lot. And this salah we're talking about is dawam. It's what we do continuously. You don't quit. You do it continuously. Like fasting. If you are sick, you can leave fasting. If you are aged, you can stop fasting and breastfeed there. If you are breastfeeding, if you are pregnant, but salah, you are not exempted. It's something you do continuously. And salah is also cleans our sin. It's kafara. One salah to the next salah is kafara. It's cleans all sins. From the time you start ablution till the time you end the salah, all your minor sin will be exonerated, will be wiped away. So if you want to use an avenue to always exonerate yourself from sin, to clean yourself from sin, embrace salah. Pray often. And when you are in salah, you want to start praying, there are things you need to understand. The first thing, when you're before Allah, all we've mentioned, if you want salah to be impactful in your life, you want to be impactful, to reform you, to change you to be a better Muslim, to make you organized, there are things you need to get. The first one is al-khushu'. Al-khushu' means to be awesome. When you are in salah, you must be present-minded. You must be awesome. The fear of Allah must be in you, that you are standing before the Lord of the universe. Al-khushu'. The next one is at-tumanina. You must be so calm. You must be so calm before Allah. When you are in front of your God, you should be calm. You should, be submissive. Be submissive. All the limbs of your whole body should be submissive. You should be calm before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you should be observant of the time of salah. You don't rush. Tumanina, you observe every steps, every move you're making, you must do it accordingly. You don't rush. And when you do all this, it's very certain that it's going to be impactful in your life. So we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this little as an act of ibadah and meet us at the point of our need and at the scale of our good deeds. You meet us at the next episode where we still discuss the issue of salah. Don't forget to share to people who might be benefited, and also your comment for feedback, and can you subscribe to our channel. Assalamu alaikum.